Hi guys. This is probably the hardest video I have ever had to make. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I know you guys know what I'm talking about already via the title and thumbnail of this video, but okay, so I don't even know where to start with this. I'm gonna be completely open and honest with you guys, and please don't turn that around and bite me on my face with it, because I've been honest with you, okay? Like, I don't want anyone judging how I feel, telling me how I grieve is wrong, telling me my thoughts are wrong, or like just posting hate comments, okay? Because that's disgusting. And if you do that, if you're the kind of person that does that when someone's just lost something like this, or when something like this happens, then you need to take a good long look in the mirror and figure out why you're not happy with yourself or happy with your life. And I'm sorry, I'm not usually that blunt, but I'm bloody angry at the world right now, and that's something I've been working on recently, trying not to take it out on the people around me and the world, that anger, which has been tough, but I know I need to try and put a stopper in that, because that's not fair to the people around me. Okay, so where do I start? 5 days ago, we lost Shadow. Shadow, I'm sure you will have seen in the vlogs and my videos, Shadow appears so many times. He's always in the background. He always wanted to be in the background, like, hey, I'm here, hey mom. But we lost him 5 days ago. We lost him last Thursday. While I'm recording this, it's currently Tuesday. So we lost him last Thursday. Before that, he had been ill for about a week. He was fine and healthy and happy. One moment doing things that border collies do, running around and being himself, and just fucking laundry basket. Sorry. And he was, you know, and then all of a sudden we took him to the vet just to check his weight, because he started eating a lot less and we were worried about that, so we ordered some scales as well, which are currently here, but obviously we're sending them back because, you know, we were sending them back. But yes, he started to eat a lot less, and then we were worried, so like I said, we bought some scales, we took him to the vets. The vet said he was completely healthy for his age, his heart seemed fine. They only did a physical examination, but after that it was about a week and he just started declining and declining. It went from just not eating as much to barely eating at all, barely drinking at all. He couldn't get up, he couldn't walk around. He looked so sad and fed up and just done with everything. And he was just getting worse and worse, and the day before, the night we took him to the vets to, you know, have him put down, Mum said to me, he looked me in the eyes. This is her quote. She said to me that while I had been at work, that he'd looked her in the eyes and that the face he'd given her was just, "Mum, I'm done. Please let me go." And it honestly breaks my heart. I've never felt so much freaking pain, and I can't handle it. And I don't want to accept it, I don't. We took him, so on that Thursday he started coughing up blood, vomiting blood. He had sort of cough/vomited and there was just blood with it, and I think it was that point we knew, like, I think it was almost worse and better in a way, because the couple days before that he seemed better again. He was drinking more, eating more, and we took him, like, I took him out for a walk, and he was acting just like his old self. And I'm really glad that I got to see that before he left. I'm glad that I got to see him be happy and be himself again, because I couldn't see my shadow there. I just wanted my shadow back, so I'm glad that he could give me that. Thank you, Shadow. And, but that night, after the blood, we had to take him to the vets, and me, my brother, my mum, myself, and my neighbour, Lynn, bless her. Honestly, she's been a fucking rock. She's helped, like, gone for walks with me and Lola and Max, and she's helped me out with that, and she's been someone to talk to, and she lent my mum the money to pay for it, because it was out of hours at the time. Like, we couldn't continue letting him suffer like that. And so yeah, she's just been a rock, bless her. Our neighbour, she's the best neighbour, I swear. I want to check I'm recording. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. But, so we took him to the vet, and my brother was really blunt with the vets and just, like, said, give it to us straight. And he said, look, we can do blood tests, we can do scans, we think that he possibly has multiple tumours on the brain. And, like, he'd started to get a bit confused as well towards the end that week. It was just 1 week of incredibly rapid deterioration, which is something that can happen in older dogs, particularly collies. They sort of go until they drop. And he was one of those doggies. I mean, with Holly, we didn't even know she was suffering until she was like, yeah, it's my time. And it was just 1 week of very, very rapid deterioration. And I've got to give it to my neighbours. They really helped us out. So we took him to the vet. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting what I'm saying and going off on a tangent. I can't think straight on, to be honest. The last few days I've not been posting, and this is why I wanted to tell you guys about this and explain why I hadn't been posting. And I don't know when I will be posting next. I obviously need some time. I'm going to take my own time and figure it out, but also I will say that he will be, like, there's a lot of pre-recorded stuff I've got, like all of Vlogmas. I haven't completely uploaded yet. He's in all of those. I don't think there's any other. There's a couple of pre-recorded videos he's not in, but they were pre-recorded while he was still alive, while he was still around. So I want to get all of those out before moving forward with my life, so to speak. And right now it's a little too painful to edit them. I mean, one day I know I'll be very, very grateful, and I am actually now very grateful that I have those videos and that I have those memories with them, and that I can show the world that, and I have videos and pictures, and I can show the world who he was, who he is. And he was the best dog ever, and I loved him. I love him and I miss him. I miss him so much. But we said to the vet, like, give it to us straight, and he told us we can do blood tests, we can do scans, we can keep him here overnight and see how he goes. But he'd been like I said, he'd been declining for about a week. We'd hoped that he would get better, but as soon as we thought he was getting better, he got 10 times worse. And so my brother just said to the vet, look, give it to us bluntly. In your opinion, he said, look, I can do this and this and that, but at the end of the day, no amount of money in the world is going to get you your dog back. So we made the choice to have him put down, because I wanted more time with him. I think we all did, but it wouldn't be fair to just keep him alive while he was suffering so much like that. He was ready to go. It was his time, and I'm having a lot of trouble accepting that, mostly because He was 13. And I know 13, as people will say, that's a pretty good age, but it doesn't feel like a good age to me. I thought we had a few more years with him yet. I thought we had a few more years before we had to even worry about this, and now all of a sudden it just happened, and it's just been a real shock to the system, and it's just come out of nowhere. I'm glad that he didn't suffer long, but it's been a real fucking blindsided shock to the rest of us, and it made it harder, I think. Like I said, I take comfort in the fact knowing that he didn't suffer very long. He was happy right up until the end. And, so, I thought that I needed to be in there to say goodbye to him, because I never got to say goodbye to Holly, and that killed me. For years afterwards. It took so much time to heal. I don't think it really healed until maybe recently. If it has healed now, I'm not sure. But it's one of those things that you never get over it. It doesn't. It gets a little better, a little easier with time, but grief is... You never get over grief. You never get over the people you've lost. I like to think that he's up there now with my granddad and Holly and my neighbour's doggy and my brother's 2 other doggies that we used to have, and my mum's old dog and my nan's old 2 doggies, and my mum's first husband, and my great nan and granddad, and I hope that they're all looking after each other up there. And my Uncle Roy. I almost keep forgetting my Uncle Roy, I don't know why. Sorry, Uncle Roy. Love you. I hope they're all up there together, having fun and living their best heaven life. I think that gives me comfort to believe that. To believe that they're all up in some sort of heaven together. I'm not super religious, I'm more spiritual, but yeah, it gives me comfort to believe that. I'd prefer to believe that. I'd prefer to believe that there's something, that they're okay and that they're happier, rather than just nothing, or I don't know, something else. But yeah, so I thought that because I never got to say goodbye to Holly, I thought not going in meant I wouldn't be able to say goodbye to Shadow, and I was not having that. I screamed and I insisted, and I didn't scream actually, that's an exaggeration. And I went in with him, and me, Mum and my brother, and we went in with him and we hugged him, and as the vet put the the thing in and watched him drift off to sleep, it still doesn't really for real. I'd never seen that before, and it just looked like he was sleeping. It looked like he was sleeping. It really did, and I kept checking him because I couldn't tell. It was like there was barely a difference. I kept feeling his body to make sure because my mind couldn't process what I was seeing. But I could see it in his eyes that he was gone. He wasn't in there anymore. And we gave him cuddles. I made sure I told him stories before, like the few days before, and told him I loved him, and told him everything I was thankful for, and still am thankful for. And I saw him go. And then we took him home, and we waited. My mum, my 2 brothers buried a hole for him in the bottom of the garden, and they took one of my favourite blankets, which I was a little sad about losing as well, but obviously not compared to losing Shadow, but I still haven't accepted that one, to be honest. I still don't believe it's real. It doesn't feel real. I don't want to believe it. I can't believe it. So, we took him out to the garden, wrapped in the blanket. I buried him. I put him in the hole, but I couldn't. I couldn't do it. I couldn't see him like that. It devastated me. I screamed bloody murder. Like one of those agonizing cry screams, like ah! Like that kind of thing. I can't really recreate it, but just to give you an idea, I couldn't look. I couldn't see him be buried. I didn't want to see him like that. I couldn't handle it. All I kept thinking was, why are they burying him? They can't bury him, he'll suffocate. They can't do that, get him out of the hole. I couldn't do it. I had to go back inside. I couldn't get back inside. I kept screaming and crying, and I kept falling to my knees because I didn't want to leave him. I don't want him to have left me. He can't have left me. Please tell me he hasn't left me. After that I got on the phone to Chloe and talked to her for a bit, and that helped. And I had Lola. God, it broke my heart. Lola and Max. I came in and Lola gave me one sniff, looked up at me like, and then just collapsed on me and gave me a big hug. And Max broke my heart as well, because he just, when Lola sniffed, Max was wagging his tail and he took one look up like, and then he collapsed laying down and went under the bed, and he didn't talk to me for like a good day or two. He did not want to talk to me. I was scared that he was angry at me somehow. I know this, but I know they're sad too. They miss him too. They miss their friend, their brother, their companion, their family, because he was family. He will always be family. He still is, and he always will be. He was one of the most intelligent doggies ever. And yeah, that was pretty much that. And ever since, it's kind of, each day is a little better. Each day is a tiny bit easier. But I found I've been going through some really strange stages of grief. Stuff that I've never really experienced before. And I think it's because, honestly, I'm really glad for mental blocks right now, because if it wasn't for mental blocks, I'd be even more of a mess than I am talking right now, because I can feel it. There is so much pain and I don't want to feel it. I don't want to feel it. I keep blocking it. I can't handle it all at once, and I think my body knows that. It's been trying to let it out in small pieces every now and then each day. Grief is a different process for everyone, and it takes time, and it's fucking hard. It's the fucking hardest thing you ever go through. The first day, I remember Chloe asked me, when it first happened, if I was like suicidal at all, and at the time, oh, how do I word this? I'm gonna put trigger warnings on this video because I don't want to trigger any of you guys out there. So here we go, trigger warning for suicidal thoughts and depression. Honestly, I would never do that, and I know now that I would never do that. At the time, I reassured her, but I honestly felt a little bit unsure. And I realised it was just because I was having some suicidal thoughts. Nothing I would ever act on, guys, because I know in my heart that I've got much more life to live yet. There's things I'm going to do. I was going to say want to do, but then I felt like inspired, and I was like, there's things I'm going to do. I think if one thing, something I tend to take away from traumatic or big events is that it always reminds me that life is short and that we need to make the most of it. And it's, I suppose in that way I'm grateful because I can get from it at least that the positives sides is I can get this, I've got this new feeling that I'm going to go fucking out there and take life by the balls. I'm not having any more of this bullshit. I'm going to go be happy and achieve my dreams. And not that I wasn't doing that before, but also, by the way, thank you for 600 subs. I will do a proper video on that when I'm feeling a bit better, guys. But I do really appreciate it. But I think that's something I tend to take away from these sort of things. Where was I? I was going to say something and I forgot. I'm sorry I look a bit of a mess. I obviously haven't been really focused on my appearance much at all. I've just been literally doing nothing, like distracting myself and doing whatever. I remember the first, it feels like a couple of days, but I know it's only been 5. In my mind it feels like it's been a good week and a bit. At least a week. No, a week. I suppose 5 days is close to a week. Like the first day, there have been times, still now, but less so, there have been times where I felt like I was going to be violently sick. Oh, sorry, trigger warning for people if they have any eating disorders or anything like that. Oh my god, so many trigger warnings. Coughing a lot, which is emotional. You know, being boned up, coughing a lot, feeling like those times I felt like I was going to be physically sick and retching and stuff like that because it was just overwhelming levels of grief. And yeah, there was times like that. It's lessened now, which I'm thankful for. There still have been a couple times, mind you. But yeah, so what else can I say? I mean, that was pretty much what happened. Like I said, I talked to Chloe a little bit about it. That helped. And then since then, I've just been going through the strangest stages of grief. First, it felt like devastation. Then there's been this ongoing anger at the world because, well, I'm angry that he's been taken from me. And I'm really trying not to because I know it would not be right or fair of me to, but I really want to take it out on somebody. I want to take it out on the world. I've shouted at the universe. I've just been like, how dare you fucking take him from me? It was too soon. Maybe he was ready to go, but I wasn't ready to see him go. I wasn't ready for him to go. But that's selfish of me to think I wouldn't want him to suffer or be in pain. But I wasn't ready. I wasn't anywhere near ready to see him leave me. Just really feel real. My best friend, my dog for 13 years. He was my best friend, my confidant. The person I'd turn to whenever I had a problem, whenever I was upset. He'd jump on me when I cried, like right now. I mean, you must have seen. Or when I sneezed because he worried, or when I made weird noises and he'd stick his tongue out and roll over and put his legs in the air. We always called him a little tar and he was so cute. How can all of that just be gone? How can all of that just be gone? I'm gonna go get a tissue, excuse me. Sorry about that. Yeah, it doesn't really make sense to me. And I really hate how I'm feeling right now because I went through, well, let me explain my stages of grief. I just want to check my recording. Okay. Let me just explain, like, the different stages of grief I've been going through recently. So I started with, like I said, feeling devastated, then angry at the world. I found myself being meaner than I usually am. And I don't really like that. I want to try and put a stop to that and try and get that anger out in a bit of a healthier way, because I can feel it starting to me wanting to take it out on people around me, and that's not fair to them. That's not fair to the people around me. They didn't do anything wrong. I'm just angry at the world because I know it doesn't. Well, the world doesn't owe me anything. The world doesn't owe me jack shit. And I know that logically, but it's been a hard few years. There have been really good times, don't get me wrong. I had an amazing Christmas, an amazing birthday this year, and I'm really grateful for that. But I suppose I developed a bit of a bad pattern match, which I'm trying to undo as well, which I think working. I think that's working, me undoing it, but I felt like, yeah, okay, no, I matched that, that's good. I felt like for a bit, like, I could be happy, like, if I was happy for a bit, then something really shit was going to follow. But then you think all sorts of things when it comes to grief. I don't really feel that way anymore. I do still feel like the world owes me something a little bit, and I'm trying to work on that mindset as well, because like I said, it doesn't owe me anything. But it's just after the years and the loss and the pandemic, before the pandemic started, I lost my granddad, had a severe fucking mental breakdown. Then I had a few, like, problems with friendships that we have, thankfully, I think, mostly, at least, if not all, smoothed over now. We're much, much better, which I'm very, very grateful for. There was my friend, a few of my friends had mental breakdowns and stuff like that, and had a tough time. And then, that was, you know, then there was the whole pandemic, that was 2020. And then this Christmas and birthday was really good. And then, like, now we lost Shadow. So it's been a bit of a rough couple of years, you know. It's been a rough 2 years plus. So I just feel like we all need a bit of a break. Plus there's been some other family drama going on that I'm not really at liberty to say too much about, but there's some family members that I have not been able to see for a good couple of years, which is really hard as well. It's just been really tough. And now, like, this, I mean, everyone probably feels this way when they grieve, or maybe a lot of people do, I don't know. Everybody probably feels like the world owes them some happiness. I just feel like I'm owed my happiness. Does that make sense? I know I'm not owed jack shit, which is why I almost have this determination now to go out in the world and go be happy. I mean, obviously that's going to take time. It's not going to be an instant, oh, I'm happy now. There have been days where I felt okay, mind you. But yeah, I feel more inspired and determined to go out there, be a little bit more badass, work on standing up for myself a bit more. Like, not be afraid when someone says something I don't like to, like, no, that's not the right wording, what was I going to say, not be afraid to, like, if I feel like something isn't completely right, be able to say in the moment. That's something I want to work on as well, because I'm not very good at that. I'm not very, very good at being able to read my emotions in the moment. It takes me some time, and then later on I'm like, oh, that's how I felt about that. But anyway, I'm getting on a tangent here. So, yeah, my other stage of grief after that was, like, I became very numb. I feel kind of numb right now. Less numb than I was. I was very, very numb. I felt just sort of okay for a while. I felt like, I felt sort of okay for a while. I felt kind of numb. And I realised in my mind I kind of age regressed a little bit. Like, mentally, physically, logically, I know where I am. I know what age I am. I know who the people around me are. But I've noticed that my mind has kind of been taking me back to an age, a time where things were less complicated to help me deal with the grief, with the pain. And I've been getting younger and younger in my mind, because I keep almost calling Lola, see I almost did it then, I keep almost calling Lola Holly, and I keep almost calling Mac Shadow, and I think it's because, please don't take this the wrong way, because this does sound horrible in a way, but in my mind, the pain is easier like in this age regression, which I can't really control. I'm not doing it on purpose. In my mind, like, it's easier to pretend that Holly and Shadow are still here and Max and Lola don't exist. Like, I think that's what my mind is doing. Of course, I do not wish that in any way at all. I love Max, I love Lola so much. So much. Honestly, they have been a freaking rock to me. And I feel bad for even feeling that way at all. Or thinking that in my mind. Like I said, I haven't been able to help it. It's just where my mind's been going. I've been regressing back further and further to sort of deal with the pain and be able to actually cope with it rather than just breaking down completely, because otherwise I probably would. I know Max is Max, I know Lola is Lola, and I love them for who they are. Oh, they're so cute, I love them, I really do. And I feel bad for it. And I've worried about him a lot lately. I worry about him pining for Shadow. I don't want Max to leave me too. I don't want him to leave me too. I couldn't take that. I don't want him to go. I don't think he is. Fucking touch wood. I'll break the fucking door down. He's seemed really happy. He's just seemed a bit sad, and so is Lola, which is understandable, you know. They've just lost their friend too. And, because I felt angry at Max for not being Shadow, because Shadow's not there anymore. Shadow won't do the Shadow things that he used to do because he's not here anymore. He's not there. And I was angry at Max for not being Shadow or doing Shadow things, and that was really wrong and unfair of me, and I'm so sorry, Maxie. I love you, baby boy. I just miss Shadow. I miss you, Shadow. It's so strange waking up expecting to see him in the morning, so you expect him to be running about the house or the garden. I keep wanting to call 3 dogs in, give 3 biscuits. It's so strange trying to give him to 2. It's so strange not to see Shadow jump on me when I'm crying or to come up and have a cuddle. It's so strange that I can't do those things anymore, and it's so strange to not it's so strange to not see those things happening anymore, and the fact that they'll never happen again is honestly right now beyond my comprehension. I miss Shadow, and I miss the things I can't have anymore. I miss the things I can't see. I miss him because I can't have him anymore. Heaven or wherever has him now, and I can't get him back from there. And that's really hard. That's really hard to accept. I've also been... haven't really wanted to do much lately. I'm going back to work Thursday in a couple of days, so yeah, I feel... Then, bless her, my co-worker has been a rock as well. Thank you to my... Excuse me, that's emotion. Thank you to my co-worker, because honestly, you've been a real rock to me during this time, and I know you have a life of your own, and I feel guilty for keeping you, like, away from that life while I take time to heal, basically. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't go to work right now and face people and pretend to smile. I've never pretended to smile in my life, and I'm not about to start now. I would just be a moody, grumpy bitch. Be standing there like, hi, why do I want to smile? I feel a bit lighter, wow. It really helps talking to you guys, although I do feel a little dizzy. Whoa, there's a lot of emotion and release coming on right now. Feels nice though, I like it. I wanted to end the video, well not ending, but I wanted to talk about some memories before we left, end it on a nice note, and then show you like a little tribute to him, because he deserves that. He was the best doggy ever, my little Shadow. So, I remember some memories I have with him. I remember when we first got him, I was 12 years old and it was my birthday, and I came back from school. We lived here, not in this house, but we lived up a hill the other end of the village then, and we had, I think, a big 3-bedroom house at that point. Like I remember I had a massive room. I'm currently in my mum's room, so but I came home from school and she said, open out your arms and close your eyes. So I did that, and boom, tiniest little, cutest little puppy you've ever seen was in my arms. 9.5 weeks old, our little Shadow. He was the fluffiest thing ever. He had these bright blue eyes, these floppy ears. He was so cute. I mean, he was still super cute even before he left. Even at 13 years old, he was still the cutest little puppy ever. And yeah, I remember that. I remember that instant. And then we got Max later on. We got Max. We had Holly, Shadow, and Max. I keep almost messing up everybody's names. My brain's still trying to function and process, but I'll get there. It's just going to take some time. It's going to be a while before I can come to any sort of acceptance, I think. And I've accepted that. Just now. Accepted that much anyway. But yeah, no, I remember that. Like I said, there were some really nice videos I have of him before, like him being himself again. Oh, I love how, like, every time I did a video, I wouldn't even know he was in it, and then I'd be editing the videos afterwards and he was like literally in every single shot. He'd just be in the background somewhere, like behind me, and I'd watch it back and be like, oh, my Shadow was behind me that whole time. Or in the field, like he'd round me up, I'd go round, away, come by, and he knew all the little commands, and go round and round and round me, and round me up like I was a sheep. Never the sheep, just me. He was a little bit scared of the sheep. Not in the end he wasn't scared of the sheep anymore, but he used to be. And I remember he'd go round and round and round. I'd sit down over the field with all 3 of them, Shadow, Max and Lola, and I'd just go, and like let stuff out of the field, whatever problems I was having. And when I was ready to get up, I always look round and be like, where'd Shadow go? And here was where he was, behind me, every single time. Every single time. But it's really helping to remember all these memories. It was a memory I felt like I wish I didn't have, was like when seeing him not in himself anymore. That was really hard, and for a while I really wished that I hadn't gone in. I wish I hadn't seen him be buried, because I wanted my last memories of him to be when he was alive and happy, and I'm still really not sure how I feel about that anymore. I do still kind of wish that, to be honest. At first I really wished I hadn't gone in, but no one would have been able to freaking stop me. And my neighbour, bless her, we were on a walk and she pointed out to me, well, maybe you would have had regrets either way. What if you hadn't gone in and you regretted that? I was like, that's a good point, actually. You're probably right there. And I realised I was kind of being a little selfish, because I was like, you know what, at least I was there. I was brave enough to be by his side and hold his hand. And I'm pleased that it's not an attack on anyone that can't do that kind of thing. I completely understand. I'm not sure I could do that again. I don't want to do it anytime soon. Knock on wood. Thank you. But I'm glad I did it that once. I'm glad I did it for him, because he deserved that. Oh, I miss him. There's so many awesome memories I remember, but yeah, he was the best dog ever, and I love him so much, and I miss him. It's gonna be really weird continuing without him, because for the last 13 years, he's all I've known. He's been my best friend, my confidant, the person I talk to, he's the dog I talk to. He's been everything to me, and now he's just gone. I can't really process that in my head. I don't really know how to move forward, but I know that I have to. Obviously I don't have to right away, but it's gonna take time to, you know, grief, fun. I just miss him a lot. Bless him, little baby. I felt a little bit comforted with the snow recently because I remember a few years back when we... Sorry, scratch a boob, that's kind of gross. I remember a few years back when we lived up the hill, as I was just saying, before we had... Was it when we had Max? We might have had Max. We definitely didn't have Lola. No, I don't think we had Max yet either. No, because he was only a puppy. But yeah, we didn't have Max yet either. I remember Holly and Shadow, and Holly was I was throwing snowballs and she was going in her mouth, and Shadow was catching them with his paws like this. It was so cute. He always caught toys with his paws like this. Like, I'm sure the dog thought he was human. I'm sure he thought he was a human who just lay on the sofa and catch things like this. It was so cute, bless him. And then whenever you asked him to do a trick, he'd just roll over and pretend he was dumb. He wasn't, but he knew how to get out of doing a trick, bless him. He never wanted to do it. Lazy boy. Oh. But now my point to that was the snow recently has been a bit of a comfort to me, because looking out and seeing where he's buried, where it's still winter, and obviously grass isn't growing super quick, it's been really hard to look out there. It's getting a little bit easier, but seeing the snow, it was just perfectly covered just on his like grave, so to speak. I don't know why I'm saying so to speak, I think that makes it easier for me to deal, but it was just covered on his grave and like the concrete, and it felt like a sign from him saying I'm okay, and that really helped. That really warmed my heart. It was really cute, and I just remembered how much he loved snow. It was so cute. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was. Oh, that was the thing as well. I think, as weird as this sounds as well, going through that and realising I wasn't sure, going through the, like, being with him while while he passed, it made me realise that I had a lot of anger towards my mum before for not letting me say goodbye to Holly, but I think it helped me heal that wound, because I'm not saying it was right to do what she did. I still wish that things had been different, but now I understand more. I understand why she did it, and I know that I'm grateful for it, almost. That probably sounds really weird, especially to Chloe if she's watching, but it made me realise how not equipped I would have been able to handle that situation, and how grateful I am that with Holly I saw her alive one moment and happy, and I didn't have to see anything else. That was all I had to remember, and it made me really grateful for that, because seeing Shadow, like I said, those last moments not being when he was alive and happy, that really hit me hard. It really hurt. And it's got a little bit easier, but again, that's something that's probably going to take time, and I really regretted doing it to start with. I regretted going in there with him, but I don't anymore. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I was brave enough to face that for him. Bless him. He was so cute. He was the friendliest dog ever, I swear. I mean, back when he was a bit younger, I mean, he was like, it's strange because he was the strongest dog. Like, if something went at him, he would go back and he would win. But he'd never go. Like, rarely. I'm not saying he never ever go. He wasn't perfect. No one's perfect, but he was the best dog ever. He was so friendly. He loved everybody. He'd wander out the garden sometimes, and where we had holes in our hedge, we'd be like, is this your dog? We'd be like, yeah, thank you. Thanks for bringing him back. He'd just go up to some random person like, hello. They're like, can I help you? I miss my little baby boy. It's a tough one right now. I'm glad I have all those memories, and I'm glad I have all those videos of him. And I all I'm basically asking is for you guys to be patient with me for the next however long. All I'm asking is for you guys to be patient with me for the next however long it takes, you know, to feel a little bit better and feel up to doing videos and stuff again. And that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to ask you guys for your patience and your support, and I really appreciate you guys and love you guys. It's gonna take its time, but I knew that I needed to talk to you, and I'm glad that I did. It really helped. I think this really helped me a lot. It made me feel a little bit better. It was really nice to talk about memories as well. Obviously we've all been sad, and bringing him up with my mom or my brother, I've triggered them to be upset, and then that makes me feel a little bit bad. Although I am very, very grateful with my mom. She has been so open during this whole thing. Like, she has hit her breaking point with life, which kind of sucks, but she's been so open and just crying in front of me and not holding anything back, and I'm so grateful for that because it makes me feel so much closer to her, and we feel more united that way, and I'm very, very grateful for that. And I'm very grateful to, like I said, to my neighbour and my brothers and everyone who helps us out, and my brother's girlfriend, because they've all helped, and I really, really appreciate that. I mean, that same night, my brother's dog went missing. They found him, but like, he ended up down the vets because someone took him down there, and they were like, we don't know where this dog lives, so and then they rang them like, we got your dog. I was like, oh, thank goodness. And bless her, she just helped us while we buried Shadow, bless him. I've got a lot of great memories with him, and in the end I think something that helps me is that I've got all those memories. He's taught me everything. He's taught me so much. He's been my best friend. He's given everything he could to me, and we've given everything we could to him. I was his best friend. I was his cuddles, like he was mine. I was his confidant, like he was mine. I gave walks and treats and food and cuddles and love, just like he gave me. And I'm always gonna miss him, and it's always gonna be hard. Thank you guys for understanding. I'm gonna end the video here, but I'm gonna post a little tribute to him because he deserves that. I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Bye. What image do you want, mate? What Shadow? You're in my shot, mate. Shad's just like, I'm made for the camera though. I must be in the shot. Shadow! Shadow! Where's Shadow? Shadow! Okay, shush, shush. Shadow! Shadow! Where's Shadow? Shadow? I can't find him. Where's Shadow? Where is he? Where's Shadow? Max is certainly making his presence known. Where's Shadow? Where are you? Where's Shadow? Shh. Shh. Shads? Shads? Shadow? Shadow? Oh, where you go? You got new beds? We ordered new beds and they just came. Look it. There's some blankets down. You got new beds.
Look at this, Shadow.
Ooh.
How about that?
Max is currently out with my brother, so. Look, Shads, there's a bed for you.
There you go.
Look.
How about that, Shadow?
Shads, bed. Look, there's a bed. There's a bed there. Look, there's a bed. Oh, Lola's right on it. Lola's right on it. She's like, oh, new bed. What do you think? We got you new beds.
Look, what's this?
Hey.
Shadow.
Oh, you dippy dog, Shads.
Hey, boy.
I'm sure you'll lay on it in his own
Can't
time.
have both, Lola.
She's like, I will.
Can't have both.
I will. Oh. Mind the birds. Go, go, go. Go on then. Go. Go. Ready, go. Round. Round, Shadow. Good boy. Go. Ready, go. You can't catch me. Good boy, go, 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 go. Oh, ow. Oh, whoa. Good boy. Good boy. Go, go, go. Oh, you're so cute. Go. Ready, go. Ready, run. Go, go, go. You home? It's okay. Just letting you off. Good boy. Shots. Come on. Look at that.